This is a story where finances were involved and my faith grew from taking that risk. But more than that, I believe it is also about having the simple and pure obedience to God. I started going to this church when I was 4 years old, and that was when I met my best friend Ashley, who was also the only other girl my age. At that time, that was the whole children's church population right there. When I was 5, I pledged 100 ringgit to build a school in China because everyone else was always looking out for me, so I wanted to do the same for the other kids in need. All of the children's church teachers thought it was funny because 100 ringgit was a ridiculous amount for a 5-year-old kid. But my mother made sure that I followed through on my pledge and most importantly that I worked hard for it. To get to that amount, I did 100 things. I had to cut the grass with a small pair of scissors, brush my teeth on my own, and I also sold my drawings to my mum, all for 1 ringgit. So that was how I fulfilled my first pledge. I moved to Australia 5 years ago. Back in Perth last year, the church that I was serving in, they built a new building for themselves. I remember walking in the vast empty auditorium, seeing how everything was brand new. I didn't know why, but I started tearing up. At that moment, God just told me that it was time to invest in this church. So I decided to give $300 to the building fund. It was crazy. I was a high school student, unemployed, and definitely way past the age of getting paid to do house chores. But I had a strange feeling that God will provide somehow, and at the end, it will all work out. 2 months later, my school held an art exhibition showcasing all of the works from the art students of my year. It was a great gathering of friends and family just celebrating our hard work. But that night, the school surprised me with a check to buy my painting. It was $450, which was much more than what I needed for my $300 building fund. It was ridiculous for me to give 100 ringgit when I was 5, and it was ridiculous for me to give $300 when I had no job. But I know that God is always faithful, and that He will always provide in the end, even in the most ridiculous situations. All I need to do is to be obedient to Him and to take that step of faith.